Okay, I think
Cool.
yeah, I'll just follow you around, and then
Okay.
we can just yeah chat about
Right.
today. I'll follow your
Yeah.
character. Oh,
You should
by the
talk
yeah.
to
Oh, Una.
the Una. Yeah,
Una.
Una with the. It's
Gotcha.
nice that I can see your screen.
Ah, the treacherous ground. Search Clearfell for the entrance to Mudburrow.
Okay,
Gotcha.
let's do that.
Okay. Oh, you're no longer were you oh, I have an uncut skill gem. Push inventory. Right click. Bam. Okay, I'll just click a random thing here. Lightning grave.
Okay.
Is that it? Skill gem?
Yeah.
Lightning grave. Bam. Done. And it has
Okay.
soft.
So now open your inventory,
Yes.
and then you need to equip that gem into your
Oh? Zeki's
skill.
here! We got Zeki.
Hi.
Hello, Zeki. How are you? Yeah, I'm gonna now put this socket somewhere. Where do I put this lightning rod socket, Toby?
You see your skill tree
Oh, yeah.
tab.
Gotcha. I
Skill
got it.
tab, yeah. So you put that gem on, and then you need to assign it to a hotkey.
Understood. Okay. Lightning rod is
Yeah.
going to my right click for sure.
And then give that a test. Right click on the screen.
Bam.
Hey.
Hey. All right. Welcome, Zeki. This game is Path to Exile. I'm playing with Toby. Yeah, Toby. First of all, how are you doing? Is how was your weekend? And also, how often do you play this game?
I play this a bit too much. This game came out few like 2 months ago, and it's supposed to be better than Diablo in every way. And so now, I think we found Mudburrow.
Gotcha. Here we go, Mudburrow. Oh, Zeki's no
And
longer
so,
here, but that's okay. Yeah.
and
Diablo was a game that you really liked.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to limit myself to only play this at nighttime, so that it will not intrude on my daytime callings.
Right, productivity.
Yeah,
Yeah, we all need a stress outlet, something that we can
yeah,
enjoy. Yeah.
yeah.
I also played a lot of Diablo, a lot of these action RPG games. Yeah, it's very enjoyable. Um, like item finding, leveling up, those kinds of things. Yeah, I think it's a good segue too, because in life we want to level up, don't we?
We
Yeah,
do.
yeah, we do. I think that's why I like going to church, being part of fellowship, um, having good friends around me. Um, how long have you been going to church, Toby? All your life, or maybe in your teenage years, or?
Yeah, like I went to church with my family as a kid, but
Mm,
then
mm,
there was definitely a period where I stopped going,
mm,
and then 25 is when I like really went back.
mm. Nice,
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, long story, I bet.
yeah, long story for sure.
Yeah, no problem. That could be another day.
Yeah,
Today for February 9th, 2025, we had a Sunday service. Yeah, the topic was on Obadiah and the story of in First Kings. Do you remember the scripture? Was it First Kings? I think it was First Kings.
I think so.
Yeah, but overall, the topic was on just being um, keeping to our faithful lifestyle and obedience despite
Mm,
the challenges that we have in life. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, what were some of the what was in maybe like the one takeaway that you really liked or really spoke out to you, Toby?
really liked. Let me open my notes. I have a number.
I'll take my time to identify items now. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yes, I have hermit garb, thick skin. Oh, this looks good too. Okay, let's try that. I should keep my items, right? To like to sell later.
Yeah, they usually if they're not worth something now, they're not worth something later.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah. From the sermon. Well, it was really about because the passage we looked at Obadiah being obedient with hiding some prophets away, even though the king mandated people to worship Baal. And part of that message was obedience for us when things are difficult.
Speaking of difficulty, this is a boss?
Yeah.
This looks like a boss fight?
This is a boss.
Have faith. We're gonna beat this guy. The Devourer.
And
yeah.
I guess one of the memorable parts was that courage and fear can be at the same time. You usually think of them as like one or the other.
Right. And
because he was,
yeah,
he obeyed, like he was really motivated to obey, so that gave him courage. But it's probably a very scary thing too. To disobey the king that way. Yeah.
I think like maybe a question of exploration is why is it that we're maybe so kind of drawn into the idea that when we that fear goes away, like there's a misleading thought like fear will disappear right as soon as we have bravery. For example, like is it because of media, all the movies we watch, as soon they have to cram everything within 2 hours, therefore they have to show our main character like receive some kind of character motivation, and then bam, they go into your climactic moment and there's a resolution. And so is it because of like maybe a bit of the media that we watch that we don't get to see actual realistic suffering, overcoming those moments of fearfulness? Is it because we just don't have enough stories and friends that we talk to that are actually like real stories? Am I making any sense?
There's definitely like I'm thinking about like all the hero stories, and they tend to, like, if they're afraid, they find the courage, and then that's dealt with. Now they fight with the courage that they found. There isn't like a duality at the same time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it was just a thought that I had. Maybe like we need to just be more familiar with stories where that duality does exist, where we could really see the sacrifice, right? There's that suffering there.
Where are you with your quest right now?
I think. Oh, I have to talk to Renly. Okay, let's see.
All right.
Where is Renly? Where's this guy?
And
oh, I see.
Yeah.
I just realized this is a very violent game.
Is it?
Because I was watching
bam, bam, bam.
I was watching the cutscene in the very beginning, and I was holding my 6-month-old baby, and Fang was like, "This is very inappropriate, Justin." I wasn't even thinking about that. All right, I'm following you. Let's go back.
What's the next thing?
I keep talking to Remy. Talk to him for my reward.
Yeah, I'll grab the reward from him.
Oh, gotcha. Got it. Travel through Clearfell to the Grellwood. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That stood out. Any other parts of the sermon? He talked. Pastor Paul Lamb, who was the preacher today, he
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah.
God's sovereignty,
Yeah.
God's presence. Those things are
Um,
integral to, I
yeah.
suppose, having that dimension of confidence, right?
One of his core message was to for like personal growth and revival.
Hmm.
And I think the two aspects of growth he wanted to draw from Obadiah was obedience and witnessing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
He
And
gave
those.
examples
Yeah.
of like how if we tell, as we grow, we might want to, be more watchful with our speech and avoid gossip. But if we tell our friends that, that's not gonna help us make friends.
Hmm. Right. Let's speak to our own personal experiences. Have you been in a situation where had to dial back certain lifestyle tension with friends?
Well, I feel like with colleagues, mm, there's definitely a bit of like wanting to snoop out and see how safe it is to talk about
Yeah.
certain topics. It's like without a clear green light, then it's like I don't want to bring Jesus in just yet.
Hmm.
Sometimes I do hear other colleagues talk among themselves, and it could be like really sharp and negative.
Hmm.
Like they'll make jokes about Christianity,
Right. I'll pause you for a
and
second.
definitely,
Kelvin
yeah,
is in the stream watching. Hello, Kelvin. Welcome. Thank you for commenting. Please let us know if the audio level is too loud or if the sound effects is too loud. You can't hear
yeah,
either myself or Toby. Back to you, Toby. You're saying there are times where you have to like pace yourself in your friends group to see what's like acceptable. Like what? How?
yeah, kind of like snoop around,
Hmm.
like not around, but like snoop a bit, scout a bit,
Hmm.
or like try it out a bit.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because I think even if I really want to like tell them all about my Sunday, I think there are people like some would be really interested, some would be less interested in a topic, and so I think that's one of the things to figure out as well.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think speaking of like Israel spies, they they were at first spies in the land at the beginning, and then
Yeah,
now I'm not saying we should conquer our friends, but there is an element of winning our friends over for Christ. That's important. That is important. So there is, I think, a level of we need to do our quote unquote friend research, right? Yeah. Um, if I could share a story now, like I think, um, I think, like so, admittedly, I was not very good at bringing high school friends to church. Um, Stephanie's cousin, Iris, she was always bringing friends to church. She was like very uh, brave, I suppose, very courageous. And when I see their friends come to church, I'm like, how come what am I doing? How come I'm not inviting my friends? And so I'm my spying increased around like grade 11, grade 12. Like, who could I invite to church? Um, and in grade 12, I did invite a few friends to our VCMBC camp, my church camp. Um,
yeah,
yeah, and I think I had that confidence at that age. They came. They had fun. Mm, but yeah, I think I hear what you're
I
saying. It requires a bit of
I
like.
think it's interesting. Well, I think people are in different stages of their journey. Like some would be, they grew up um, Christian or grew up in like a Christian family, left the faith or whatnot,
Mhm.
and then recently like life has had hardships, and they're like asking these questions again, like
Mhm.
like what is like why would God let this happen? And so
Yeah.
I think God does use life situations like that to bring us to a state to ask more of those questions and
Mhm.
explore.
Mhm.
And so yeah, sometimes those come up in conversation with friends, and you're like, oh,
It's happening.
yeah, like
It's working.
yeah, or like yeah, like would love to, this is a topic we like to explore together,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and then but there are some folks who also had a lot of hurt from families and um, other experiences that really lead them to conclude that this is not for me. I don't want anything to do with it.
And that's totally okay, right? That's
Yeah,
totally part of life.
yeah.
We would rather that as opposed to someone never hearing about Jesus, right? And
Hmm.
and that they just didn't have an opportunity. We would rather someone having the opportunity, and then if they just choose not to believe in this time, in this season, like that's totally okay,
Yeah.
right? Right. That's
Yeah.
very yeah.
So I
That's very good.
think having like I think that's one of the things would be that seems helpful for me to be aware, um like this person has like a certain openness to just conversations about God.
Mhm.
So I think that's a part of it.
Mhm. Yeah. Speaking of God, we are fighting demons here. We are fighting
Yeah, we're the good
disgusting.
guys.
we're
It's math.
we are doing our part in getting rid of demonic fiends here. What
Oh,
was
that's
this?
you.
What is this? Oh, a ruined girdle. Okay, this is a quest item.
Yeah,
Nice. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where Pastor Paul Lamb's sort of that one of the points, the core message of God's
Yeah.
sovereignty and God's presence. That should give us that confidence when we go into those conversations with our non-believing friends. We're not doing it by ourselves, although it might feel like that, especially when we're young. When we're young, we often think like, oh, like we're figuring this all out. Um, I'm gonna embarrass myself. Um, and I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes. But I think to know that God's with you, God is with you in those mistakes. Those mistakes are probably planned out by God and God's sovereignty for us to learn and for us to grow. And I think we don't talk about that enough either. You're doing okay there, Toby?
Yeah.
I'm I'm just shooting from behind you.
Yeah. My
Let's
my character can
yeah,
take it.
yeah. Yeah, we had Zeki comments, Kelvin, and then someone named Dako Nafish. Yeah, they were here. Yeah. If I die, what happens by the way, Toby?
At this stage, nothing happens. You go back to town, or no, I think I can revive you
Oh, I
actually.
see. Like my body's like on the ground.
Yeah. 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 Help you up. Help you back up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cause
So,
I keep
no
pushing.
worries. Be brave.
Yeah. Yes. Because you are with me. I keep pushing my potion. It seems like
Yeah.
I have unlimited. It's just there, right?
You have limited. There should be a counter
It's always been
on
at
your.
one. My counter's always 1.
Hmm. I don't know.
I think the
There should be
lesser
a.
health flask is unlimited, maybe? I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah. Maybe we
Yeah.
can bring up another
It's part
scene
of.
point, and then I like to talk about the worship songs too. We don't get to talk
Oh
about the
yeah.
worship songs enough.
Uh,
Yeah.
you'd have to catch me up on that. I,
you you were there.
I'm guilty. I was on the. I was listening in at that time.
Oh, I see. You
Yeah.
left.
I was listening onto the YouTube remotely.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
Sure, but we can get to another point in the sermon.
Hmm.
One of the sermon illustrations Pastor Paul Lam used was, of course, the Carrie 10 poem. What was the name?
Carry 10 home.
Carrie 10 boom. Corey 10 boom. The the lady that housed a number of Jewish um, refugees during World War II in Nazi Germany,
Right.
and it's basically almost like a spitting image of what happened with Obadiah, who helped.
Right.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So we have real life examples of that.
Yeah.
It's very extreme. I think.
Yeah.
I think now we in our
In
our life
in our times of peace,
yeah, in our time of
in
peace.
our free government that allows us to worship.
Hmm. So it's almost like a double-edged sword, living in peace.
Yeah.
We have all the benefits of. Oh, there's a lot. Speaking of peace, we are now surrounded. I hope I don't die here. It's a double-edged sword. We live in a time of peace, but it seems like because of that, there's less opportunity to exercise great faithfulness and obedience.
I do see that. Yeah.
Right.
There's no one putting me at gunpoint and giving me an ultimatum.
Right. Yeah.
And like. Yeah.
Right. It seems like
I
don't
think,
get me wrong. I very appreciate.
Yeah.
I really appreciate what we have.
Yeah.
What we are given. At the
It's like
same.
the metaphor with the crucible that trial by fire. That's when you really have to bring out what faith you have and put that to the test.
Hmm.
But in times of peace, it's hard to see. Like what are you willing to give up, or like how far will you obey God?
Oh, this is the Rust King. The King of Rust here.
Oh,
Speaking of challenges in life.
it's not a good king.
Not a good king. Yeah. He used to be platinum,
Yeah.
now he's rust. Actually, I don't even know if platinum rusts.
Yeah.
Probably not. It seems like, if I were the devil, I would want to convince faith followers that life is so good, life is peaceful, don't have to worry. Oh, I'm almost dead. I'm almost dead. Oh,
Potion.
That it's it would be a tactic to keep the faithful slumbering, right? To keep God's followers just what did Gollum say about Sam the Brave? You fat and lazy hobbits, right? Something like that. Yeah. So it's interesting, right? Ooh, plus evasion. Okay, let's do it.
One of the points was for, I guess, like personal growth and revival. That was his big point.
Yes, yes.
And then the components of revival, he includes witnessing and obedience.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess one of the things we talked about in our Sunday school was, I guess, all around the topic of revival, really.
Yes, a lot about revival in our Sunday school.
Sorry, renewal, which is
Renewal, yeah, renewal.
same. Yeah.
Yeah. Although Pastor Charlie did sort of try to make a distinction that revival is very explosive and renewal is more gradual. That was his take. Maybe the word revival has been hijacked by charismatic churches. Maybe that
Right.
made Pastor Charlie extra sensitive to the word. I don't know, but I'm actively praying for revival and renewal. Bring the runes to Renly for forging.
Yeah.
Take the rune spikes. Take the rune spikes. Use the rune spikes.
Yeah. Travel to Greywood.
Is it waypoint?
Yeah. Yeah. Waypoint is the best way there.
I think I have to walk there from Red.
Oh, how? I think you can, because I'm there now, so you can warp to me.
Oh. Okay, but your portal says to Red Veil.
Oh, you open the social menu.
Okay. Yes.
And then you find my character face, and then there's a warp to player.
What's the social? Oh yeah, you're on PS5.
Yeah.
Options, interface. Social J. Okay. J. Then I warp
To player. Yeah, that option.
Kick from party. Whisper to this player. Visit hideout. Unfriend. Edit. Note. And report.
Oh, it's not there. Okay, I think looks like we will walk from Red Veil. Yeah.
Okay.
So to the portal.
Yeah, I am at Red Veil now. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, you're far.
But since the Sunday school, I've been kind of thinking of like, where does like faith come from? Because I guess some of our concluding points were that what it looks like, at least an important part of it is this passionate being on fire for God. That's kind of what we can picture.
Right. Our standard picture is like someone who's already faithful, but then how do we get from like sort of your
where does that come from?
Where does it come from? Yeah.
Where does faith come from?
I like following Timothy Keller and his sermon series on Spotify. I really liked one of his analogies about growth, and I suppose if we could just think about it with spiritual growth, he uses this tension, the duality, and this was your word, duality, the duality of oh my gosh, there's so many words here. Gosh, Una, so many things to talk about. The duality of strengthening while being weakened. So this is what Timothy Keller said. when you go to the gym and when you work out, and Toby, I think you're very familiar with this, with the big muscles you have.
Uh,
When someone is doing reps, let's just say you're doing like dumbbell curls.
yeah.
You're doing reps, you're strengthening yourself, but at the same time that you know you're strengthening yourself, you're exhausting yourself of the dumbbell curls you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's just right, the duality of you're doing dumbbell curls or whatever, you're doing push-ups, you're doing sit-ups, you're doing rowing. You
Yeah.
know you're getting stronger at at the current ex- sacrifice of exhausting yourself, right?
Mhm.
That I thought was really cool. And if I could port it into our conversation now, what is the quote unquote gym? Spiritual gym, right? The moments that we need to have faithfulness, the moments that we're when we're talking to our non-Christian friends and when we're in situations that require a lot of trust in God.
Yeah.
In those moments, we'll probably exhaust ourselves. We'll probably be like, "Oh, I feel like maybe
Yeah.
I tried my best, and it can be difficult,
Uh-huh.
but to do that more and more, to
Yeah.
endure that more and more, I think
Did you
we
talk to Una yet?
this girl, Clearfell. Is it all the conversations on the left, basically? I'm clicking through all the
Left.
conversations on the left side when I talk to Una.
Left. Oh no, those are
Just
optional.
conversations.
The one on the right is the quest.
Okay, I just need to go to Grelwood. Let me go to Grelwood.
Okay.
Here it is. Yeah.
Yeah. This kind of reminds me of like I think there are different paths of growth.
Hmm.
One, it seems to me that there's a slow and steady growth,
Hmm.
and it seems to me there is a really abrupt, fast growth.
Hmm.
Um, and I think for my testimony, it's like I hit like true rock bottom,
Hmm.
and then when I went back to Jesus, it was like night and day, and then from there, things felt like it was gonna move fast, like that was an important part of my life that contributed a lot to my faith now. How God rescued me out of that darkness was a big part and felt like a big contributor to my growth.
Hmm.
But then the times I've told, that testimony,
Hmm.
it seems to me, when I hear, how it lands and, how it resonates with people, I think most people don't have like a dramatic experience.
Hmm. Right.
Um, Israel. I think that was part of Israel's story, that they got rescued from Egypt, and now they have this giant moment where they saw wonders of God, and they were in the pit, like rock bottom, with being an enslaved nation, and God saved them with miracles like crossing the Red Sea and stuff.
Right. And those stories are very integral to the whole foundation of their theology. And if there was a Jordan Peterson expert here, those stories are the 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 what is it? The provides the strong undergirding of the meaning of their religion, their way of practice, the way they view the world, is through those stories that they hold um to getting to your point about having those personal experiences. That almost to me speaks more of just our postmodern generation that we live in, that we
Okay.
are looking for that more so than the stories of scripture. Like,
Yeah.
what am I trying to say? I'm
Yeah.
trying to say that not everyone in Israel is spoken about, right? It's just their the 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 people that they read in the stories that have been immortalized, and people who are in Israel, they don't need to have their own personal dramatic faithful explosion revival, but they just need to, what they do is that they cling to their scriptures so closely that they know that that the revival of their forefathers was their faithfulness. And that may
They
be
could live through their stories.
say it again.
They could experience the journey through the stories.
Through the stories, because they see themselves,
Yeah.
because they're pre-modern. They're pre-modern
Yeah.
people. They identify alongside with their forefathers. But now the challenge is we are not that type. We are very modern and postmodern people. It's almost like we need to have those experiences ourselves, and if we don't, it, faithfulness
Can't become this.
yeah, it is, yeah, it does not become our own. Yeah. Different generations have challenges. I strongly believe in that. I got 3 guys chasing me, man. I gotta need help. Nice.
But I think just earlier you were talking about I don't remember what you said, but it made me think of how obedience, that's part of when you obey, you see God work a little bit, and then seeing God work motivates you to obey. So I think there's something, or like reading scripture, you learn a bit about God. And so there's these things that steadily contribute to our growth as well. And I think most Christians, even people that I really admire and look up to, and I see them as like spiritual giants with like really role models in their faith. A lot of them don't have like I was a mafia, went to jail, and Jesus spoke to me there. Some of them live really simple lives, but they encountered Jesus simply in the Word.
Yeah.
And then over the years, they saw Jesus more and more.
Yeah, that's
And
very.
so it's like
it's very admirable that the faithfulness, great faithfulness, can be attained through the simple learning of Scripture and these. I say the word simple, but at times it is difficult. Not simple at all, but walking over these exploding oozes that you trigger, and then I walk over them.
I think maybe I wonder what happens if we, maybe a thought experiment is like, what if we peel back the layers one by one of what we consider, like what comes to mind for spiritual growth? We're like, oh, okay, we need community, we need the Bible, we need prayer. Like, okay, can someone be spiritually mature without community? I think that's an interesting question, because I also see sometimes I hear people, voices that say, "Oh, community is not necessary. You can do Jesus on your own."
You don't have to go to church. You
Yeah,
can worship by by yourself on a
yeah,
Sunday. Or an extreme is like, oh, you have some countries that can't even let you have church, and they so um. But regarding that point, that thought experiment thing about what constitutes as like the different spiritual um deepening, you're familiar with Richard Foster's book, Spiritual Disciple
tell me
Celebration
something.
of Disciples.
No.
Oh, it's a super classic book. I think it was like a must.
Mm.
It's like a mandatory read for all Bible college people.
Mm.
I'll say it, Richard Foster, Celebration of
Okay.
Disciple. In his book,
Yes.
it's like he splits it off like there are a set of inward spiritual disciplines. There's a set of outward spiritual disciplines. So inward ones are like meditation, simplicity, being content. Um,
Oh, these are inner ones.
inner ones, yeah.
Okay.
Prayer, right?
Uh-huh.
And then he has a set of outward ones like community service,
Mm.
church, worship. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so I think just but with just explaining very briefly, like he writes really nicely. Like there are different ways of exploring and deepening in faithfulness, and then he sort of like paints the picture of like the niche categories, at least that he has explored. Yeah.
Can you see again what the inward ones are?
Yeah, I'll tab out. Let's see. Richard Foster, inward
No.
spiritual disciplines. Yeah, abounding love ministry. Okay, here we go. The inward ones: meditation, prayer, fasting, and study. Those are the inward disciplines, according to Richard Foster. The outward disciplines are simplicity, solitude, submission, and service. And then the third one, it's the corporate disciplines. I guess the coming together, confession, worship, guidance, and celebration. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's like
Yeah, there's a lot of aspects.
a lot.
But these are the his. This is part of the formula
I'm trapped.
for
So, yeah, formula and or
is this a spiritual formation formula?
yeah, a way to sort of put into clearer terms how one would grow in our, I guess, 21st century world, where we need to like label everything. We need to compartmentalize
Yeah.
things in order for us to define them or understand. Don't
Yeah.
die. If you die, I'm gonna die.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything can happen here. No.
Oh my gosh. There's no cooldown on healing, is there?
There is the potion. Oh no, he's not healing now.
But I feel like I'm potioning, but oh gosh. I'm teleporting to the middle.
Yeah, he teleports people to the middle.
I see, I see. Yeah, I think
Yeah. Do you do you agree with the list?
I think if there was
Like, what's your experience with the list?
I think there are ones that maybe are common to people our age and our cultural background. Like, I think prayer and study are very common for Asian Christians living in 2025 and, in the last 20 years. Some of these things can be sort of overlooked, right? Fasting, very, very rare. Have I, been spending time with anyone in their 20s or 30s talking about like fasting. My short story is that when my wife and I were engaged, like we were going through times of discernment, like dealing with in-laws
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and it
Yeah.
got pretty stressful. That I wanted to go through times of fasting. Oh, I got no more potions. Oh, I would have
Oh,
died.
I'm on my last one too. No,
Back
I
to
don't know if
my.
I can revive you with this thing on my back.
No problem.
Maybe I
Do
can.
your.
Maybe I can.
Just
No,
run.
no, I can't.
Just run. Just run. But
But
back
he's
to my.
so slow.
It's funny. I was talking about fasting. I died.
And you're out of potion.
I'm out of potions. My fasting's. But
Fasting from potions.
essentially, though, like things got really bad in life. I did go through
Okay,
a season
I
of
got
fasting,
it.
and
Yeah.
and that was important for us.
Mhm.
I think God were what was in our corner because things panned out well. Um, but I think it was the one of the few times that I had experienced that, and yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is there is a comprehensive list of
Yeah.
these um spiritual disciplines, and perhaps it is true many of the stuff on the list is not something we are used to, common to, or susceptible to. And then I think the ones here that we're very used to is worship,
Yeah.
service,
Yeah.
prayer, and study. We're
Mm.
if we're gonna champion this book and his list, we're missing 8 other disciplines of spirituality. Maybe we could we it would serve the church and it would serve the individual better to exercise those other spiritual disciplines.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I feel like in my theology, I don't know if that's the right word, but I think, yeah, maybe in my theology, I'm more of a minimalist.
Hmm.
Like if I were to create a list, I think I would be inclined to put like maybe 3 items in a list.
I see. If I could just try to hash out what you're saying. You consider yourself a minimalist,
Yeah.
which means that keeping a short list of very important spiritual disciplines would be better than having a shallow exercise of a long list of spiritual disciplines.
Maybe purist is also another way to put it. I think just with the people that's been influential in my life, feels like scripture is like super key. Prayer is super key, and then community is super key.
This is a very interesting take.
Yeah.
It is. It's
And I think that's, and then I feel like that's where my inclinations are to focus on.
Mhm.
And then his list has other, he has an inward outward component. And I would kind of fit that in a little bit differently, because I think scripture would be upstream of those lists, like like scripture teaches us to serve the poor. And so if those passages really that we really see God's heart for the poor, when those passages take root, then the natural outflow would be that we end up serving as well.
If I can paraphrase what you're saying,
Yeah.
by purists, maybe like just to keep narrow and to keep fewer spiritual disciplines as the focus, because if we were truly, let's say like studying of the word, if we truly have that as a main strength, it would come naturally those other outward spiritual disciplines of community service, submission, things like that. I see.
Yeah. And then I think the other category I have that came to mind is how all of God's commandments, Jesus summarized as love God and love others as yourself. And I can see how that seems to have some parallels with the inward outward thing, where loving others is all the outward things. Definitely want to think about the synergy between serving and that when you serve you see God at work, and then that helps you grow. Serving challenges you in certain ways, and those challenges help you grow. And so there's definitely synergy between all those disciplines.
Speaking of growth, I think you're doing way more damage than I am.
My character has some extra help.
Yeah, and I'm not putting any stat points. I'm just clicking.
Yeah.
I'm just clicking. Yeah, you're probably like able to input like new skills.
I haven't done that, but I do have some equipments that are inherited from my other character.
Yeah,
from my main character.
I'm using the same crude bow that I've had.
Yeah. I think we could do better. Let me get your bow after.
Sure. Ooh, a ring. Ooh, I got a ring. Hold on, I got a ring.
Yeah.
Shoot. Wait. No, I don't want to make a town portal. Whatever. Ring. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I think just being able to familiarize the new Christian about spiritual disciplines is a good first step, to know that we're not just limited to what our church is common to, right? I think it'd be good to at least know like simplicity, being content is something that is worthy of building spiritual muscle, right? I'm trying to identify with what you're saying, being a spiritual, like a purist, in a sense of deepening our spirituality. Yeah. Still wrestling and working that out as well. I think, and I'm a strong believer that every culture experiences Christ differently. I'm Asian, you're Asian, right? Wait, hold on. I got another yellow item. I don't know what to do.
Yellow's good.
Yeah, I have to replace my. That's okay. I'll be fine.
Okay. I would love to give you some equipment.
Yeah. Let's see. Not everyone is the super Christian, right? Not everyone is super well rounded in their spiritual disciplines. We're Asian. I think we would, what's the word? Lean towards mm, our cultural mm, pronouncements of what am I looking for? We have spiritual disciplines that we are more used to, whereas someone, let's say, in um, place of persecution, I think they would be more um, challenged and therefore more mm, spiritually deepened in other things like in simplicity, right? We in the West are so succumbed to lots of things like our distractions, consumerism, capitalism, where someone else in rural, I don't know, rural China or like third world country Africa, they would worry less about those things, and they would know how to have spiritual joy in the little things, right? So, yeah. Hmm. I think this is just a quick segue to the worship songs. I appreciated Gloriana. We sang the song Jesus Messiah. Oh, wait, accept? Are you this guy named I May Cheat?
No.
Oh no, I left your party. Yeah, Toby's not a guy that would say I may cheat. What's going on here? How do I leave this?
Yeah, where'd you go?
How do I leave this party?
Let me.
Okay, I left this party.
Let me add you again. Yeah, I invited you again.
Nice. Okay. Oh, there you are, Nick. I thought you jumped onto another account to give me an item.
Oh no, the stashes are connected, but
Okay, nice.
I don't have.
Right.
Yeah. For some reason, it won't let me buy things.
Gloriana's song "Jesus Messiah." We sang that song after the sermon, and she and the words like the Jesus, like he became sin, who knew no sin, that we might become his righteousness. Yeah, so I think that really goes with our church theme. Our church theme of righteousness, ever increasing in brightness, and I think Pastor Paul Lamb's sermon about the obedience and witness, I think, that does relate to the theme in itself. So I think it's really powerful. Trade request. Oh, I need to put something in the screen though. I'm so sorry. Oh shoot. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I have to put something in the screen.
Yeah. You don't have to give me something.
But I have to create space.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I wish I could like shop better. For some reason, it's not letting me like do some good shopping for you.
Oh no, no problem. It's okay. Ooh, gain 3 mana per enemy killed. Awesome.
Oh, here's a good one. Here.
Okay. I'll just drop some stuff. Actually, what do I do now?
You can give me stuff. I have a room.
Whoa! Look at that.
Yeah. Funds.
Whoa! It's orange.
Yeah.
Okay. Powerful stuff here. I'm leveling up here.
Yeah.
Maybe less talk about the core topic, more about like just this whole concept of us playing, chatting about Sunday in general. I think if we do this again, Toby, for sure the sermon topic gets a lot of attention, but I think we can also talk about the worship songs.
Ah.
Yeah, and the other elements of Sunday service that plays into the overall how we come before God on the Sabbath,
Yeah.
and we encounter Him, and through the Word, through song, through offering, through scripture reading, community, and yeah, I think we could use this as a platform to talk about what we really appreciate. And hopefully, if there's someone listening, if there are people who are following, that they could get maybe a different take on the whole quote unquote Sunday service, right? That maybe they could hear us hash it out, talk about it, hear maybe some genuine thoughts about the whole thing.
Yeah, that'd be really fun. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is a fun format to explore.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be like 90% talk and like 10% like, oh gosh, this boss battle is tough. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we'll call it quits here. Thanks so much, Toby. Before we go, anything you want to encourage people listening? Anything at all? What's on your heart, Toby?
On my part. Yeah, I feel like over the years, I see the value of church community more,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a really good place to have these kind of discussions and mutually encourage.
Mm-hmm.
See how God's been working in other people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Because I only ever know my life and how I interact with God,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, definitely there's a lot to learn from each other.
Mm. Good
Yeah.
points. Very good. Okay. Thank you so much. Whoever is following, whoever's listening,
Yeah.
we do these Sundays because it'll be in Sundays is the topic of conversation. Thank you so much, Toby. Enjoy the rest of your week. May God bless you. May God be in your walk, and may uh, may you uh, have every opportunity to preach Christ and to boast of Jesus' name in your walk. Thank you so much.
Here.
Yeah. Take care.